All righty, it's 11 o'clock. And Melissa, I think we had an appointment at 11 o'clock to do opportunities, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, I'm Ryan Yarbrough. I'm your Regional Technology Director for South Florida. And I'm joined here with Melissa Carella, who is going to be teaching you opportunities today in Command. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Melissa. If you could just tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and take us away on opportunities.
Sure. So thank you. I am here in the Punta Gorda Port Charlotte Market Center for KW Peace River Partners. I have been with them since 2017, I'd say October. And I am the ALC, the ALC's committee chair for this year's ALC for tech. And I guess that's probably how I got into this. So,
and you came highly suggested by one of our Market Center tech trainers, so that helps too.
Well, hopefully I don't let anyone down there.
You're good. So you're going to take us through opportunities, but I know that you're going to put a little bit of a spin on it because one of your passion parts of opportunities tends to be commissions, right?
Yes, so we are going to touch base on commissions once we get to that point. So we'll go start to the end.
All right, sounds good. Go ahead and take it away, and you can share your screen.
It says the disabled screen share.
All right, we will take care of that.
I just made her. You can do it now.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so there's a couple different ways that you can start an opportunity. So let me move this box here. So you can start by first adding a contact. When you don't have them already built into your database, you can add them. When you add them and put in all their information, if you hit the add to sales pipeline, it will automatically take you into the opportunities tab for that. The other way is if you already have a contact, so you would click on that contact, and over here on the right there's the opportunities, and you can create an opportunity directly that way. And then finally the last, well, it's probably not the last way, but it's the only other way I know, is to go directly to opportunities and create the opportunity. But you can't do this if they aren't in your database. So you have to be in the contacts. Well, they have to be in your contact database in order to create an opportunity for them. So I'm just going to go ahead and go into one I've already created. And this one is a listing opportunity. So I just want to touch on that really quick. So when you are in the opportunity and creating it, the opportunity name is important. Well, let me start. Sorry. Let me go back to show you create here first. When you create, so if you're part of a team, you're going to select your team name and the owner of the opportunity. So if I had a team member that I wanted to assign this to, it would show up here, and then they would be the owner of that contact and opportunity. The opportunity type is different based on the opportunity you're working with, so buyer or listing. The listing, I've chosen that one to use right now, but if you don't change that here to make sure that, like, if you're working on a listing and you are actually working with a buyer and you don't change that to the buyer's opportunity, they're tied to checklists. So you would have to actually archive that opportunity and then go back and restart and create a new opportunity with the right opportunity type. So then you would enter in client name, who they are. If they have a co-seller, you would enter here. And then the opportunity name, so if you're working with a buyer, this would just be you could start off with their name if you don't have a property yet. If you do have a property, you're going to put the opportunity name under that property. So that way your Market Center admins can find them when they're going to do your commissions. So that's important to have the name based on the property. You can change the name later on. So that is one thing that you can do. Any custom tabs, estimated close date, list price, or estimated budget price if it's a buyer. And then the commission rate is just on your take of the commission. So if you are taking 3%, 3% will go there. You don't put the whole commission. If it's a listing, you don't put 6 there. And then what type of phase and stage. So if you're tracking your percentages and your numbers, this part here is where you would move them along in the phases. So going into one that I've already created, when you start, this is going to be, you enter in the address of the property that you're working on. You hit those little pencils, and here's where you can change the opportunity name. So in this particular listing, I'm going to change that to the opportunity name of the property. And then what phase we're in, what stage we're in, just confirm the contact's name, and if there's any co-sellers, the estimated list price, and everything, just confirm everything is right. When you save it, it's automatically going to update the name of the listing right here. The next tab is the seller profile tab. This, or it would be buyer profile if you're under the buyer opportunity. So this actually shows that that person is registered with your consumer platform. So if you've sent them the app and they're actually using your app, it will show that they are registered with that platform. And then the guide. So if you use this at a high level, the managed guide, it will actually send notifications as you go through the process. So you can mark completed, and it will notify your seller or buyer at what stage they're in the guides. So if you use that, that's a really cool tool to show where you are in the stages. Under the Documents tab, this tab is actually where you are, this is where compliance lives, it's right here. So basically, as you go through the steps of listed, under contract, and closed, you're gonna add those forms in once they're completed. So this is important to make sure that all the required ones are there, because once you submit it to MC, they're going to confirm that everything's there. You don't get paid if it's not right. So you have to make sure that you're putting in the information correctly, make sure you're using the right forms and doing everything right so that it doesn't get kicked back and you don't delay anything. When you have on a listing, right now, everyone knows in the market right now, you have offers multiple. So you would add a custom folder. So I started one here by putting like offer from Brett Bishop. So if I needed to, got another offer, I'm going to put in add custom folder and then put their name here. And then create the folder, and then there I would upload those. So when I click on it, I would add the document, their offer. So every offer you get, you need to create a custom folder for that offer and upload them in. So that way we stay compliant. Sitting in your email or on your computer isn't going to help when the Market Center gets audited for that particular one. So having it here where they can access, you can access, everybody can have it, that's a good place. Volhai, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question? I don't hear anybody.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, I'm Terry Kahn. I am in the Pembroke Pines office, Southwest. I have a question about what you just spoke about with the custom folders, to add a new folder for each offer, even if it's the same person outbidding someone else.
Say that
or
one
do
more
they?
time.
Okay, for example, you have Shelly, offer from Shelly, right? What if someone outbids Shelly and Shelly comes in with the second offer?
Then you can add the document under her. If you add you can add as many documents under her offer as you want. And you, when you're adding them, you can like rename that document counter offer from Shelly. Or, you know, if it makes it simpler for you, you can just add a new custom folder and say counter offer from Shelly. But for me personally, I'd want to keep all of the offers from Shelly under Shelly's folder. Does that make sense? Am I?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
I answered that correctly. Is there any other questions on this part so far? No? Okay.
You're good, Melissa. I'm taking care of the questions in chat for
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. It's hard to do both of them at the same time, so
No problem. I'm here to help.
thanks. So beyond adding this, there are some options you can use that make it nice and simple. So you can do attach multiple files. So in this case, you have the purchase contract, the addendums, the seller's disclosure, everything all in your file on your computer. If you attach multiple, you can add them all in at once instead of doing one by one. So I like that feature that you can add them all. If you have something that's not listed here, like let's say another addendum, because you can only add one file per named document. So you would add an item and then enter in the document name, select the type. There's other options, other, pre-approval. If you want to add that in, you can do that. And any comments that you want to make particularly on those. So sometimes you have multiple addendums, and one of them, like a addendum to contract number 1. So you can like put in addendum number 1's note would be changed title company, or added this person to the contract, or whatever, just so it kind of keeps you in track of what those addendums mean. So it just kind of helps you get through that. Once you get from this point, you can start a transaction here. That's a whole nother situation when we go there. So start a transaction will take you to DocuSign, at least in my my system. So start a transaction would take me and create that room that I've created here. That this opportunity, it will create the room in DocuSign so that it links and syncs back and forth. So it's really nice to have that already set up. Any notes on, or any notes that you have on the property, you could add here. So if you wanted to just make like appraisal scheduled for this date, so that way it kind of helps you stay on track, or any other personal notes that you want to make, or the assignees are making. If you assigned it to a teammate, the notes would show up here so you can see everything that's going on. And then the timeline tab shows everything that was done with this opportunity, the time they did it, the day they did it. So it keeps track of everything that they had done throughout this entire opportunity. Any questions on any of that before I get into the commissions? Okay. So under the offers and commissions, this is how you get paid, guys. So this is an important piece to know. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to add a new offer. So when you add a new offer, so you can call these however you want to call them. They're personalized to you and to this opportunity. You can do an initial offer. You can do, again, if you receive multiple offers, offer from Brett, offer from Shelly, so that you create the offer under those names, so you know which offers are what. And that will help as you put multiple offers together. There is a place where you can put together a analysis to be able to send to your customer so that they can see the layout of all the offers that were received. Brian, is that still an option? Because I know the last time it wasn't in here when I saw it. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Scratch that. That's because we were in a buyer one. Offer details, offer date, close date. This is where you would enter in your anticipated closing date. Okay. So then you choose, nothing will close that fast. Parties. So this is where you would enter in the basic information. Your seller should already be there, and then the name of the buyer. So since we're working in a listing, you just take it off of the contract, the name of the buyer. So we'll just add the basic information and the associate of who he's working with. And then you just need the required fields really for this part. If you want to enter everything in, don't like blanks, then you can do that. The terms are of the contract. So if they're paying all cash, you would put it in. You can't put at and work backwards. You can't put in the sales price and work and let it calculate that way. So cash, let's say they're, you know, for a $250,000 house, they're coming in with, you know, 75,000 cash. Oh, I stink at math. Okay, so, so we'll start. And I know Brett's probably laughing at me right now. So, and then they're financing 200,000. So then it will add the sales price for you. The earnest amount, you put in how much they're putting down. And if any of these apply, so if they're contributing to any kind of closing costs or settlement costs that the seller's contributing to, you would add those here. And then the agent analysis is the part where you can enter in your pros, cons, the summary of, you know, of this offer and how good it is. And then once you hit save, it's going to lay it out just like this. And then you can either accept or reject based on what your seller wants to do. These three little dots give you other options. So you can add a negotiation. So if you countered back with that person, you can add that. If you need to edit it, you can edit it here. If you want to add more to your analysis once it's already been entered in, you can add. You can send the offer over to your seller. So this is what I was saying before. So it sends an email. Just puts blanket information you can add to this, and then you can send a copy to yourself, and then you can send the offer so that it actually will look like this. Let's see if it will preview it. I don't know if I can preview it. There we go. So it'll look like this when it comes to their email. So if you had multiple, it would show the multiple offers once you put in more. And then if you want to remove the offer, I'm not sure why you would do that. But if you wanted to remove it, maybe you made a mistake and you didn't want to go back and edit it, you can remove the offer altogether. But once you accept the offer, it changes here. So the commission status says open. You have to accept the offer in order for it to go to commissions. So you see that was 0 when we didn't have an offer. That was 0 like this. Once you accepted it, it goes to 1, which means that now you can open the commissions. So here you can change your response. So you decide, oh, that's not the one he wanted. We don't have an executed contract. You know, we're going to reject this offer. So you can change it once you're not set in, once you do accept it. And then manage the commission. So on this part, there's a lot of fail safes in here. So, and they're going to show up right here. So missing information is, it's telling me I didn't put in the contract date. So it pulls the information that you've put in. So if you were, you know, working with a buyer, you might already have that contract date because you put it in at the beginning when you were entering. But with a listing, you don't know the contract date until you actually get into it. So you would have to edit the general information and then enter in that date here. So.
Hey, Melissa, I have a question while you're right there in the chat that you could probably answer in here. What if on a property, there's no commission rate? How do you put in a flat commission? Flat fee.
For here?
Yeah, no, not in the rate. How about just a flat fee on the commission? How would you change that?
Oh, okay. So
let's just
if I'm
say
understanding correctly.
Let's just say that instead of it being a total commission of 7,500, let's just pretend like it was 10,000.
So you could go to under the total commission tab and just enter in the 10,000, and then it will calculate the commission rate for you.
Okay, great.
Percentage anyway.
The question was asked with 7,500, but you already had that in there, so I wanted to make sure we actually remember. So it was perfect. I just wanted you to be able to show that because that I have heard that question come up before. Hey, we don't actually get a fee on, a commission rate. We get a fee instead. So that answered it.
Excuse me. When
Yes.
I tried to put in the total commission of 7,500, it said it must be entered as a percentage.
It does
So
not. Is make sure you're going to the top and doing it in the general information area.
oh, okay.
And if you
That's
don't
where the
save
total
the
gross is
changes,
coming from.
yeah, and if you don't save the changes, it will automatically go back to whatever it was before.
Right.
So when you put in the price, the sales price and the commission rate, it will automatically give you the total commission. But once you enter in, like if you needed to edit, this is where you would do it.
Yeah, the key there is, again, like I said, make sure you do it in the general information area because everything's coming from there. Same thing if you're taking out an MLS fee. Like let's just say that there's a 250 MLS fee. You just make that 72.50 right there, and that takes from the total, and then you don't have to worry about it later on.
I was told that the MC actually goes by the net sheet in the end, that it didn't matter what percentage rate is there. Is that correct? Because she had me put 1% in, and that it was more closer to 2%. So I don't know.
Well, if you've got a flat rate, you need to put the flat rate in your total commission area. This is where everything's pulling from, is right here. If you've got an actual rate, if you're doing 3% and it's exactly 3%, you take from there. Now, what you'll notice is, can you go ahead and change that from 7,500 to 7,250? You'll see it changes the commission rate for you, so it automatically does it. So it's not actually 3%. You're getting 2.9%.
Okay, I don't know why mine wasn't doing that. Okay, I'll try it again.
You just make sure you're doing it again in the general information area, because if you try and do it in the area down below, which is in your agent area, it's not the same thing. It's actually asking for units, not asking for a percentage. So it goes a little bit different there.
Okay.
Same
So
thing
does
if you're
that-
adding somebody else. I mean, like, I'm sure Melissa can show you how to add somebody else, and there's some tricks and tips in there as well.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and do some of that.
Ryan, can you hear me? Sorry. I normally charge a transaction fee on all my transaction. Where normally is you recommend to add it?
She's going to show you. She'll go through that stuff. She's going to go and edit her agent area, so she'll show you some of that stuff that's in there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and start with like one of the first parts, is when you edit agent payment, this is where you would change, let me see where I want to start with that. So you can add additional deductions here. So KW Cares, KW Kids Can, you can edit these information here. So, you can put a percentage a dollar amount in each of these. And then down here at the bottom, the extra payment options is where you add items. So if you were, giving a bonus or concession, the difference between concession and deduction is concession comes off the top at the split. So it comes off of the gross commission, and then it's split out after that. A deduction will come from that particular agent's commission, net commission, if that makes sense. Inside and outside referral. So I don't know what inside referral would be used for. Maybe somewhere else in another market center or another state might use this one, but I know we don't. Outside referral is if you are working with another agent that's outside of your market center, you would choose that. So we'll go ahead and just show like this one, for example. The outside referral, what percentage you are giving. So if you're giving, if you're splitting 25%, it's going to automatically calculate that amount for you. And you do need the employee identification number for the tax ID. And then broker name. This would be, whatever agency they're working with. So if it was someone from Keller Williams, Greenville, South Carolina, you could put that there. And then the agent's name would go here. And then the address of that brokerage. And then when you click add, oh, what did I do? Okay, hold on. Sorry, I closed my screen. So let me pull it back up here. It's not my computer, so.
While you get the screen, let's say I'm giving $2,000 to the buyers to help him with the closing costs. You put in the concession.
So if you are helping it, and it's gonna, so that when we're gonna go through that. And the difference is if it's on the settlement statement and you know in advance, then you would use it as a concession necessarily. If like, I'll show you here. Let me go. Almost there, sorry. I must have hit something to close it. Okay, so let me. Sorry about that. Can you guys see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize for that. Under edit agent payment, when you do add item, if you were doing a concession, it's going to show you right here the amount. And if it's going to be on the closing statement, you would mark yes. So if it was something that you were contributing, it wouldn't go off the top. So it would actually be a deduction. If, for example, you're providing a home warranty to save the deal for whatever reason, and you decide, okay, I have to provide this home warranty. It would come off the top of the split, and the brokerage, the market center would help you pay for that. If it's something that's not going on the closing statement, it's a last minute, like for example, they took the washer or whatever, you're helping make some negotiations and you're contributing, then it's actually going to be a deduction and it comes off of your side. So the difference is the concession comes off the top. The deduction would come directly from that particular agent's commission. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Type of additional, so under deduction, same thing, and I'll run through this here. Let me see, what time is it? Okay, so I'll run through one of these here real quick. So let's say we're doing a $100 deduction, and I'll show you how it takes it off. I'm just gonna put something there. Pay to buyer, whatever. Oh, actually, I can do the KW. This is where you would add, for example, your KW, your personal market centers, cares program. And it would be to KWPRP. And you would add, I don't know. So when you hit add, it's going to add it right here under additional deductions. So if you see right there, it still shows net to agent until you save changes or recalculate the commission. So if I hit save, you're going to see over here the total commission, my pay minus that deduction. Now, if we do it the other way, so I'll delete this one, and we're going to do the concession. And we're going to mark that it's off the top. And then save changes. So as you can see here, the total commission is 75, and then the concessions on top, not down below where it says additional deductions. It comes off of the top, and then it splits here. It would be, so because I'm capped, there's no royalty or company dollar that's coming out, so that's why the number is the same. But if the royalty and commission, if I'm still paying that, it would come off of this, and then it would show here those numbers and then my pay. So I apologize that I can't show you. No, I don't actually apologize for that, but
yeah, we're not going to hold that against you.
sorry. So normally you would see the deduction here, it would come off the total commission and then it wouldn't affect. The deduction works the opposite. So the total commission and then the splits, and then that $100 would come off of your pay. Does that make sense?
Terry's got a question.
Sure.
Hello again. You just mentioned about royalties. I'm new, so I have not capped. Would that automatically be calculated in, or would I have to put that information in?
It would automatically. So you can see here the payment breakdown. It will show you the split here and here for the company commission. So it would show right here what's being taken out, and it will automatically calculate. That's not something you have to do the math for.
Okay, and then secondly, a gentleman previously asked about the agent transaction fee. Where would that come into play again, please?
So the transaction fee would be, because your market center isn't paying for that transaction fee, it's coming out of your pay.
Well, I thought transaction fee was a fee we charged to the buyer. A separate fee we charged to the buyer.
Yeah, if that's a fee that you're charging to your buyer, then that wouldn't come off of here because it's not a charge.
Okay. So we don't have transaction fees here, so maybe Ryan can touch on that for you.
You're talking more like a transaction agent. Like if I'm using a transaction coordinator and they're charging a fee, that shouldn't be taken from here. Usually that's going to be taken from the title company.
So that goes on the settlement statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
the buyer is not being charged. Now, if you're paying it, then that would be different, and it would go through here.
Okay, maybe I'm not being clear. It's my understanding that we have the opportunity to charge, I think it's like $295 or $395 transaction fee to a buyer, but other than that, the buyer does not pay for
Are you
real
talking
estate
about the MLS
services.
fee?
It could be that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we had said at the very beginning. So if you cancel that out and then you go to the very top, so right there, editing general information, if you're the listing agent and you're charging that fee, then you're offering the other side let's just say it's $250. So at this point, we would change that and make it $77,750 at that point. So your commission is not really 30%; it'd be a little bit higher. Can you edit that and make that 775?
Okay, so by MLS fee, you are referring to the same fee of basically paperwork fee or whatever.
Whatever you're charging.
Right, the charge of putting it on the MLS
Yeah,
or
when you
any
disclose
of.
on MLS, you're usually putting in under as the MLS fee is how they're.
Okay,
Because it's adding
Okay.
to your total commission, not taking away from it.
exactly. Okay, then yes, it wouldn't be to the buyer, it'd be to the seller.
Not technically, it's just increasing your rate because it's actually taking away from the buyers because technically the buyer's agent's no longer getting 30% anymore. It's actually less than that on their side because you're subtracting $250 from their total commission.
This is just your commission. So this is, they would have to edit that part as a deduction on their side, whoever.
Got it. Thank you.
I think Ryan, the way, because I have to do it one time and they explained me, but I forgot. And the way that they told me, at least in Denver, because I'm a real estate agent in Florida and Colorado. And in that transaction over there, I think they told me to add it in the bonus section, something like that, the $395, because I always charge $395 to all my customers. Transaction fee.
You can do it you can do it that way. It's just then you bring the market center into that, and it's just easier, so much easier to go to the beginning and just add it there.
Because I'm assuming if you increase the percentage now on the agreement that you have with your customer, you are charging more that you agree with him, with the customer.
That's it. You sign an agreement with your client, but you're signing an agreement for a total amount. You're not signing it for 3%. You're signing it for like the 6% in this case. We're just using that as a number. So at the 6%, you're you're allowed to split that however you want. You negotiated the 6%. You're sharing as a cooperating broker whatever percentage you choose to put on the MLS. And what you've done typically is you put on there 3% minus 270.
Yeah, normally what I do is 3% plus 395. That's what I on the agreement.
If you put 395, so I mean that was your business decision to do that, and I mean you're not making them sign any paperwork saying that it's okay or not okay to do that.
Okay.
My suggestion to you would always be to check, like, if you're doing it one way in Denver, make sure with them that you're doing it the correct way there, and you can do it however your market center. So what we're showing you is different ways to do it. Do it however your market center administrator requires you to do it. My suggestion.
All right, thank you.
But there are many ways to do it in here. They made it very flexible.
We're gonna I'm gonna go ahead and add to do referrals. So if you're working with somebody that's in your market center, you're going to hit the add another agent button. And then you're gonna enter that person. So there's two things here that can make a difference. So one is if the agent is, so let's say for example, I was the rainmaker and Brett was my buyer's agent. He's probably laughing right now, but agent units, since I'm gonna keep the unit percentage, but it's a 50-50 split. So right now I'm going to change this to 50 so I don't have to do the math, and then calculate commission. But he's not actually getting credit for the unit. So once you've entered in the 0.50 and calculate the commission to get their gross commission, you're gonna take that back out and enter 0. But don't hit the calculate commission button because it's gonna cancel what you just did out. So if you're only doing a 50-50 split, but you're not giving them all the credit as being the rainmaker, you're taking the whole unit, then you have to change that back to 0. So if you were doing a co-listing with someone and that you are doing a 50-50 and each of you are getting that count, you would keep the 50 here. So we're gonna go ahead and put that back in and then save the changes. And see, it'll show his name down here, agent units 0.5, his gross commission. And then up here, I'm gonna edit my agent payment to 0.5 to show that split. But if I was taking full credit, I would put that back as a 1. Oops. And not calculate the commission because my commission is split 50-50. So I'm gonna keep that and then hit save changes. And you see the failsafe here?
You have a fan going?
Do I what?
You have a fan going?
It's the air conditioning. It's
Okay,
so loud. I'm sorry.
I was looking to see on here if somebody else had their sound going or not, but I couldn't tell, so I was going to mute everybody. But as long as your air conditioner is fine. It's not that loud. It's good.
It's above. it's really loud. I'm sorry.
At least you got air conditioning. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, you need it here in Florida. The remaining, so it's going to tag that the remaining unit balance is negative 0.50. So you know that something is wrong with what you've done. So you can't have full credit and give him half a credit. So it's going to tell you right there. So you can't make that mistake of accidentally saving it. So when you go back to 0, just make sure you don't calculate the commissioning and then save it. So now the failsafe is gone and it shows the splits to each of us. The other way to do it is if you are doing an outside referral. So we're going to go ahead and delete Brett. And edit agent payment. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this concession. Add item. Outside referral. So the outside referral is going to be 25%. And you're going to enter in the information. address of their, so we'll just pick something. So when I click add, it's going to, and I see it does a failsafe as well because of the commission balance. So my commission is still saying $37.50 and I have split it 25%. So you have to go back in to yours, calculate the commission. So now it splits it out. So any changes that you make, it is going to put that failsafe to say, hey, your numbers aren't matching up. You're over or under this amount. So then you just look at your error and figure out what you did so that you can't, it's almost foolproof. You can't make the mistake. And then it'll show the pay to the agent. So the outside referral is going to get that. And then it pay to agent is your balance minus your splits. Does anybody have any questions? Because I know we are out of time.
Yeah, like right now, I want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity. If you have a question, please go ahead and put it in it. We're going to be going to break here again. And this is going to be a nice long break because we're going to take a lunch. If you're planning on staying on for the next few calls, I would ask that you please just turn your cameras off and mute your mic and let the music play so we don't have to let a ton of people in because there's only someone of us to run this meeting. So please do so. But before we take off, please feel free to ask any questions.
The last thing I didn't touch on is this add note section right here on the summary. So this is what you see your MC sees. Your add notes, so you would put the closing company, the closing title company or attorney or whoever is doing the closing. You would enter that information here, and any personal notes that you want to make known here for the Market Center admin to read. So let's say, for example, you want to add you want to take something more out, and well, that's probably. So let's say I wanted to cap, and I wanted to add additional company commission to come out to help me cap. I would make that note in here so that they know. So it'd be title company, such and such, name, address, email, and then the personal note added there. I always say thank you. That's something that, because they work hard to get your checks out. So just, you can say thank you here. They see these, only them. So it's just a little, when you hit submit, it's going to go change this tab from open to submitted. I don't want to do that because I don't want, but there is an option when you do it. There is a reject commit. Well, I can probably do it. Hopefully she doesn't get mad. So this warning comes up, commission termination update. So you can actually now terminate, like the deal fell through. You can request to terminate, and then it gets removed and it gets taken away. So that was a neat feature recently added on.
All right. Any questions? Looking to see here.
Is this window the only place you can see your actual GCI thus far for the year? You can look at it in your KW, your KW page, your brokerage market page.
Wait, where GCI?
She's looking here as the gross commission. It shows, like, for your cap is the only thing that it shows
They
here.
took it away on my KW because, well, they didn't take it away. Flash was stopped being supported.
Oh, that's right.
So you can't see it there anymore. So now this is the only place that you can see it. And that wasn't something KWI did. It's just that all the web browsers decided they were no longer going to support Flash because it was so energy and time consuming. So they're no longer supporting it. Therefore, we don't get to show that off. And that's how that was set up. But they are going to work on bringing that into Command as well.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead. It is 11:45 now. Unless anybody has any quick questions, we're going to go ahead and take a break. I'm going to put on some music here, and I am going to be having a screen up so you can see what other classes are coming up. So thank you so much, Melissa, for coming out and teaching us. If anybody wants to send you referrals, where can they send that to? Can you put that into the chat for them so they can reach out to you?
Absolutely.
And again, you are from which area?
From Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Northport area.
All right.
All right, and I'll go ahead and put that in the chat.
Good. Get some music going here, and you guys have an amazing lunch. See you back here at 1 o'clock sharp, and we're going to kick off 1 o'clock with Monifer Spinella teaching us designs, and then I'm going to be taking over at 2 o'clock doing campaigns, and then the Jay Cermak will be jumping on at 3 o'clock to teach you guys all about mobile apps and websites. So a lot to look forward to, and we're going to have a great afternoon. See you then. Have a great lunch.